Hey, what's up, guys? Aaron J. Daigle here to help you move forward in life. If you are struggling to make progress in your walk with God or in your ministry, maybe you're looking to advance your family, be that getting married, have children, find a place for your family to live, or you're even considering changing jobs, starting a business, shifting up your income source. And in this process, you're looking all over for the answer. What is the secret to doing this? How do I get it done? And searching YouTube and Googling everything and reading every blog and looking for the right book and asking everybody we know, yet still feeling frustrated and stuck, like you can't move forward in life. Well, I've actually experienced the same feeling of like helplessness of how to figure out the way and carve my path and make things happen, and have gotten very discouraged along the way and had some ups and downs. But if we're going to be honest, this journey has been painstakingly difficult. To show you what I mean, let me share a little bit of my story. I have been teaching high school and junior high for 5 years. In the last 2 years, my wife and I were really beginning to feel that I needed to transition into full-time ministry. We prayed about it, weren't really sure, and felt like if it's not a definite yes, then it's a no. So we waited. Well, the final year I was teaching, we both felt in our hearts that God had spoken to us and told us to take the leap of faith. That happened the day I was sitting at my computer, just discouraged and wondering what I was doing with my life and why I felt so unsatisfied in my career. And I came across a blog of someone talking about how to publish books on Amazon. The light bulb went off and I said, okay, I have always wanted to travel and do ministry as a public speaker, and now I can quit my job and start publishing books throughout the week while then traveling and speaking out on Sundays. And I'm wondering if God is showing me this because it's time to move forward. Well, that's the day he confirmed it, and my wife and I decided for me to transition out of teaching. So the next phase started, and I began to write the books and get more active online. Well, I'm gonna tell you from experience that all these blog posts that say, oh, how to quit your job and make $1 million in 30 days. Like, yeah, right. Okay. It does not work that way. But I thought it worked that way because that's what everybody online tells you is the way that it works. So I began to ask God, what's wrong with me? Why can't I figure this out? What am I doing wrong? And I began to look for the secret. How do I get through this? How do I make this happen? And I don't know what it is in your life that you are trying to get through, that you are trying to make happen. It can be a variety of different areas of life where you're trying to make progress. But what happens is we think it's going to just work, that it's going to fall in our laps, be easy, and that all we need to do is find that one little ingredient that's just going to tip everything and just pop leprechauns out at the end of the rainbow for us. Well, it doesn't work that way. However, it does work. And there are two things that we really do need inside of us. And with them, we will be able to see the goal all the way through to its accomplishment. So what are these two components? Well, to understand what they are, we have to understand that when we're making progress, building something up in life, we are fighting a battle on two fronts. First is the internal battle, the war inside our heads, the discouragement, the setbacks that we feel and we think about, the mistakes we make along the way, and fighting that within ourselves and having to deal with the voice in our heads. The second is about the practical battles that we face along the way. The fact that we may not qualify for a loan, or that there aren't people in this community who want to know about Jesus. Sometimes the economy actually is bad, and whether or not you really want that girl, she may just not be that into you. Regardless of what it is you're trying to build up and go after in life, there are going to be very practical obstacles along the way. So the question then becomes, how do we deal with these two battles, the inside and the outside? And understanding that is what leads us to knowing what the two ingredients are that we need for success in anything worth fighting for. The first is commitment. Your goal is going to take longer. It's going to be more difficult. It's going to cost more money. It is going to require more of you than what you expect out of the gate. If there's even a small inclination that you could be satisfied with something else in life, that you would settle, or that you could back out of this if you needed to kind of deal, then you are not going to see it through long enough and hard enough when that internal battle rages to actually make it happen. If you absolutely hate your job and deep inside want to create your own business, then create it, make it happen, and go all in. You've got to commit to the process though. Maybe God told you to plant a church in a certain city or start a ministry inside of your local church that your church doesn't currently have. And look, if God is showing you a need and there's nobody there fulfilling that need, that's because God is calling you to meet that need. But you can't hold back. You can't say, I'm going to try to plant this church and see what happens. I might do something with the kids in this church and help them out and do this ministry, but no, plant the church, go all in, build the children's ministry. Give it your all. If you see an area in your small groups department that's lacking, there's no particular group for singles or for single parents, then create that group, but you've got to commit to the process. Once you start, here's what's going to happen. You're going to jump off and you're going to be like, oh my God, this is awesome. I'm so pumped that I'm starting my own business. I am so excited that I am doing this ministry. God called me to this. And look, we're not only going to start a women's group in this church of 100 people, we're going to have 100,000 people from our city inside of this women's group. And even though our city is only 50,000 people, it doesn't matter. We're just going to do it. It's going to be awesome. And then you're going to hit a dip. You're going to sink down. And then whenever only 3 people show up, your mom, your grandmother, and your sister, then you're going to get discouraged. When that discouragement hits, you're going to start looking around and saying, oh, what's the secret to do this? How do you build up a women's group? And you're going to look around and try to figure out all the answers, when if you would commit to the process, the answers are going to come over time. You will figure the answers out. You will see the group to fruition, and God is going to water the seeds that you're planting. But if you lack commitment, if you lack the resolve to stick to it, then whenever you start planting, you're going to get discouraged. God's going to show up with water and he's going to be like, wait, with 2 seeds? What you want me to do with 2 seeds, bro? Commitment is the way to build a business, to build a ministry, to build a prayer life, to begin fasting, to get to know God deeper than you've ever known him before. It's commitment. If you want to understand the Bible, we can make excuses. We can say, oh, I'll try to read it, but then I got bored. Or we can commit to studying the scriptures and figuring it out and researching what we don't understand. It takes commitment to the process. But if you commit to it, you will overcome those internal battles that try to set you back and make so many people quit. I've heard it time and time again in any field. It's like 90% of people fail. I've heard that about entrepreneurs, day traders, real estate agents, jiu-jitsu fighters. It seems that 90% of people quit at everything because only 10% of people commit to the things that they're going after. And look, all those things I just named are difficult. Entrepreneurship, day trading, selling real estate, fighting jiu-jitsu, they're hard. And they're also rewarding, which is why if it's something that is in your heart to do, then you have to commit in order to see it through. Without commitment, you will be one of the 90%. And although commitment is necessary, it is not enough, because commitment only addresses the fact that you're going to struggle inside of your own head about what you're dealing with. But we also have to face the fact that there are some real practical setbacks along the way. And that is when the second ingredient to becoming successful at any endeavor worth fighting for comes into play. And that is endurance. The ability to keep on keeping on. Like Dory the fish said, just keep swimming. So while commitment is the mental resolve that I am going to see this through, endurance is the actual getting up and doing what it takes to see it through. It is showing up to preach whenever the only people there to hear you speak are your wife and kids. It's being the worship pastor of a group of musicians that have 2 pots and a can to play the drums on. It's being the assistant pastor when the only person your pastor needs assistance with is you, because you're the only person in the church. While showing up week in and week out, time and time again, until that one little group of people who came out to hear you speak becomes a conference. It's banging on them pots and cans with you and a couple of your buddies in the back of the church on a Wednesday night, preparing for Sunday, and building it week in and week out until your group becomes the next Elevation Worship. It's opening up a coffee shop next door to Starbucks, putting all your savings into the coffee shop itself, watching customers go to Starbucks and leave, giving all the money to the big conglomerate while you struggle to make the bills with your own cash until the cash starts coming in and starts building up. And little by little, first you start just making the rent, and then you stop putting your own funds in and you're making a little bit of profit, not much after taxes. And then over time, people no longer want to go to Starbucks because they want to support the local coffee shop that you have created. You see, the frustration has come in because everyone has lied to you and told you that you can build something like that in a day. That if you write your goals down before you go to sleep, say them 27 and a half times while you're asleep, that when you wake up in the morning, a unicorn is going to walk into your room and just lay it all right there in your lap for you. And when that doesn't happen, you start feeling like something's wrong with you. Why can't I get this church off the ground? Why is my family stuck when everyone else's family is moving ahead? I mean, honestly, guys, we can apply this to absolutely anything in our lives. You get a puppy and the puppy keeps peeing on the carpet. So now you're Googling for 25 hours a day, 8 days a week on how to potty train a puppy. Yeah, of course, techniques are going to differ. There's this tip, there's that tip. But at the end of the day, there's 2 things that are going to potty train a puppy: commitment and endurance. You commit to taking care of this dog, to showing the dog what it needs to know, and then you just ride it out every day, day in, day out, and within about a month or so, the dog knows where to go to the bathroom. Everything from as simple as potty training a dog to as complex as building a church and anything in between that spectrum. It's accomplished not by some mystical secret that we're going to stumble across or hearing something that we don't know that busts us through. That's not how it works. It works from two things: commitment and endurance. So whatever it is you're plowing through right now, I want to encourage you today. Commit to the process and endure through it until you see it accomplished. So thank you so much for watching. I'd love to add more value to you, so I'll link the books I've published in the description below. And a quick way to show some love is to like the video, help push it out to other people. In the meantime, feel free to subscribe, turn on the notifications bell to stay updated with all the new ones as they come out. So again, thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in some of the other videos.